Welcome to Who Won the Week, your weekly dose of sports and advertising.
I'm Mike Shields from Next to Media.
And I'm Matt Ulrich, media analyst at EDO, the TV Outcomes Company.
All right, Matt, we talked a lot about the ads and the establishment of Black Friday as this football beachhead. Now we got some numbers. I guess I was surprised. I was surprised and not surprised because it was like we talked about. They're trying to establish this new beachhead. It's a never before thing. I actually read something where they couldn't have the game that late on Black Friday because of some old rules about they don't want the NFL bumping up against high school football. And so the West Coast, that was a
Really?
noon game. But it was also, I think, the bottom line to me was that it was supposed to be an Aaron Rodgers Jets game, and that's obviously gone by the wayside. The Jets are a tough watch, so that probably contributed a lot of it. And I think there's also just a lot of football that that there's you got 3 games on Thanksgiving, then you got Black Friday, then you got the following weekend. So I wonder if it's going to be finding its way, or if that's if that number is going to be the benchmark or just an early start. What was your take on that?
It's fair to say that the Thanksgiving games, just in the way they went, might have impacted things a little bit. It was a bunch of different factors. The newness of Black Friday. I think Amazon's hoping that NFL fans get in the ritual of, well, just like Thanksgiving, they get in the ritual of, oh, it's Black Friday. I know there's a game this afternoon. We'll see if they keep it in that 3 o'clock spot. I did not know about that high school rule, but yeah, we'll see if I think as long as Amazon can start this tradition up, they feel like it's a win on certain levels.
Now, and speaking of that, you guys were quoted in an Ad Age piece that was, I thought, pretty interesting. Can you kind of elaborate on some of the stuff that you shared there?
So there are two numbers that we want to hit, and they both have to do with engagement rate with the Black Friday ads compared to other NFL ads. So a viewer who saw an ad on Black Friday football was 78% more likely to engage with that ad than a viewer of an NFL Thanksgiving ad. So that's the first data point.
Okay.
And then the second one is, and 40% more likely to engage than the average NFL ad throughout the course of the season. So we have this setup where Thanksgiving games got this huge reach, but lower ad engagement rates, and that had to do with matchup quality. And then we have the NFL, which is already a very high bar of engagement rates. And then we had Black Friday exceed both of those engagement rate benchmarks pretty
Yeah.
significantly within the audience. Like controlling for audience size within the audience they
Right.
did get exceeded those benchmarks.
Now, I think a lot of that makes sense to me. The actual Thanksgiving games, a lot of people have that on the background. They're having family. They're not going to they're not in shopping mode. They're not going to run up to the TV with a QR code. But also, we talked about this, like the Amazon game was littered with QR codes. So it was naturally probably going to be a higher engagement rate. And it's also just, I think that Amazon audience is probably primed to interact that way. It'll be interesting to see if this continues next year. Will it be this craziness with all the QR codes? Will there be different attempts at interactivity? But that is something. So you're right. Advertisers might be saying, "Well, I wanted a bigger reach, but the engagement rate is like outdoing the rest of the NFL." That's pretty great.
The QR codes were there, and I mean the Ad Age article, Amazon alluded to having some other metrics that they probably share with advertisers, not EDO specific, that indicated the success of the QR codes. So you have metrics like EDOs with engagement rate via search, where we're measuring spikes in search engagement related to TV ads. So you have EDO metrics, they have their internal metrics. I think their message to advertisers from Amazon was Black Friday football probably delivered smaller viewership than you expected. You paid a lot for the ad unit from what we could see on these public sources. The good news is that we're going to continue to build this Black Friday audience year over year, and we've proved that the viewers who do tune in engage with the ads, engage with the QR codes, and we are willing as Amazon to innovate on
Right.
any ideas that you have that you think you can drive outcomes. So that'll be their message, and we'll see how the brands receive it.
Yeah, and presumably the outcomes are telling a story we don't see, but if they're positive for a lot of those advertisers, they'll come back. They'll be happy. What
Right.
about college football? We should shift gears a little bit because it was a wild championship weekend. You had an incredible game on. I'm getting my nights mixed up. The Pac-10 championship. I think that was Friday night actually, which is
Yep.
unusual. But
Yep.
that was an awesome game. Ratings were really big. You had a lot of these other championship games culminating in this controversial playoff we got going on. But what was your takeaway from some of that action?
those championship games prove that if you have great matchups, you can get some NFL like reach with these college football games. The Pac-12 delivered 50% larger audience than the previous year's Pac-12
Wow.
championships. That was and I'm pretty sure the biggest in many years. So for advertisers that stuck with the Pac-12, and the networks broadcasting these championships, they got to see these big returns, especially in that game and the SEC championship, that finally paid off for them in certain
Right.
ways.
Right. It'll be interesting to see. It maybe like there's a lot of controversy about they've picked the final four teams for the college
Yeah.
playoff. Florida State a lot of people think they got screwed. Next year they're going to 12
Mm-hmm.
teams, which is going to be wild to see how they schedule it, how the matchups pay off, and what that does to the media sports calendar around that time of year. It could be awesome, but then you're going to have there's not a lot of real estate. You're going to have to spread that out over the holidays, and you got the NFL in your way and stuff. That's going to be fascinating to see how that plays out, because that's going to be a marquee media property that should command high audiences depending on the matchups and all, like you said.
The conference championship games should be more meaningful across the board next year. Maybe even like the Mountain West Conference championship game will have some, some top 12, some playoff implications. So it expands, and then the teams in the main games that are probably lower ranked, it also has implications for them. So I think that makes those games more competitive, as well as having additional college football playoff games that'll be broadcasted in December and January.
Yeah, and maybe you'll actually like the NCAA tournament. You maybe get a Cinderella football team, which never really happened.
Yeah.
All right, I was told you have some trivia for me. I have not researched this, but I am ready.
Okay, 2 ad trivia questions for you. The first one is, so this is college football. Which streamer delivered 2 of the 3 highest scoring ads in EDO's data during the SEC championship game on CBS? And the hint is it's not Paramount Plus.
I don't understand how it's not Paramount Plus. That throws me off completely. The SEC championship game
on CBS.
I don't know. I really don't. I don't know why that wouldn't be on Paramount Plus. You've completely thrown me off here.
So CBS sold ads to Netflix for that SEC championship game. So that Netflix is the streamer. They advertise the new, Mahershala Ali, Julia Roberts Netflix movie Leave the World Behind.
Okay, you've completely thrown me off for the way you phrase that. That's a good one.
Is the word streamer? Gotcha.
Yes. But that's interesting.
Yeah, so they had a trailer for their big new movie. They had a trailer for a new TV series that they have that's, not the same big budget movie, but 2 ads that delivered huge spikes in search engagement in EDO's data.
Okay.
So that was interesting. I have one more trivia question for you.
Go.
All right. With the help of an actress who plays Tanya in White Lotus, which credit card company ran several ads for its cashback debit card on Fox and CBS in championships games this weekend?
Okay, I know the ad you're talking about. It's with Jennifer Coolidge. It's very funny. She's with her assistant, and she's kind of like getting lost in the store.
Security guard. Yep.
Oh God, this is terrible. I'm trying to think of who. I want to say it's Discover, because I think they get cash back. All right.
Yep.
Nice.
Discover.
That's a very funny campaign. All right, and I'm guessing that you've seen some engagement there.
Yeah. So that's been popping within the credit card category. Those ads are all the way at the top in terms of the spikes they're generating in search engagement. They have 2 types of ads. One's for the cashback debit, and actually the security guard is the second ad type, and that's just more generally for the Discover brands. They have two major ads going from what we can see, and they've both been delivering and making Discover stand out with those college football audiences within that industry.
You can't underestimate Stifler's mom for the power of her marketing. Matt, awesome stuff. Where can people learn more about all this?
EDO.com to learn more.
Thanks, Matt. See you next week.
See you next week, Mike.